Hello everyone. Today we discuss one more important poem written by Robert Frost. The poem is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. This is one of wonderful poem. Let's talk about two things. So he's a traveler. So he's traveling on his evening, maybe winter season, and what he found, what he met on his traveling, there was a wood. Okay, it's not like forest. There was a wood, what we call woods, snow falling on. That's a winter season. So usually European countries we have the snowfalls during winter season. So on the evening he was traveling and seeing the beauty of that woods. So he was attracted and he wanted to spend some time and he wrote some poem. So that's the inspiration, maybe. And this one, that's a natural beauty you might have described. That's what you can make when you go through this poem. But background, he also talks about uh, death and maybe like suicidal attempt, or maybe some problems he may come across, and also he knows the responsibilities for his families, for family and other, maybe for his country or maybe for his village wherever he stays or whatever. So and then he stop. So there's two things. So those who want to enjoy the beauty of nature, that's also there. And also through that he's expressing is, you know, the logics, what is death and what's the problems we come across, how deep it is. In spite of that, our responsibilities towards family, the other issues will stop us from that attempt. So let us we go with the poem. Let me read the complete poem where you'll get scenic beauty of the nature, and we go in detail about maybe it's along with its beauty, you might have saying something about life and death. Okay, and also includes problems between life and death. Definitely, we come across with many problems, and how these problems may provoke us to commit suicide or make some decisions which is not good for anybody. So by seeing his responsibilities, by imagining, and he thought himself there's a so many responsibility I have to fulfill for my family. So he not only family, other issues also associated, maybe for his town, city, or maybe it's nation. He has to do so many things. So before I die, I have to do so many things. So therefore, he may quit that decision and moves on to the normal life. That also we can understand. So it's like debate. You can talk any topic. This is how I may feeling right now. This is how he might have wrote this poem. Okay, let us go with the poem. Whose woods these are? I think I know. His house is in the village, though he will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with the snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his honest bells a shake to ask if there is something mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. Now let us go with the stanza, stanza by stanza. We have four stanzas. First stanza, so he's a traveler. When he was traveling, he come across with the woods. So woods and forest, you should differentiate. Woods means some woods. It is normally woods, and we don't. It is not like forest. Forest means there will be wild animals. There will be a dense woods will be there, many woods. But here it's like roadside. Normally we have some woods. So maybe for some plantation, some people might have done. Or normally it is not like forest. That is because he's traveling not in the forest. He's traveling on the roadside. We have a woods. That is, it is not forest. And he's saying, whose woods these are, I think I know. He thinks, I know who's this, but he don't know perfectly. But I think I know. He may be just imagination. I may know. His house is in the village. Maybe his house is nearby village. Though, even though house is there, he will not see me stopping here. So there are two reasons why he can't see. One is the evening and snow, snowy evening. So definitely he cannot see from far place. And he will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. No, there is a woods fill up with the snow. So it is like he wanted to enjoy this beauty, the scenic beauty. And also he thinks he cannot, the owner of this house, I maybe know, but it is not, is not exactly he knows, but he thinks I may know. So it is a normal scenario, normal scene where we have woods, and in the winter season where the snow is falling on the trees, you can see the background image. So he wanted to see, enjoy this beauty, and that's why he stopped. And also he thinks there's a owner and he may not able to see. So this is which is we can see, which is we can feel by seeing these sentences. And also behind this, you can think this is like a nature owned by the God. That's his house is in the village. That is maybe referring to church here. His house is referring to church. That's maybe nearby village. Though even he cannot see stopping here to watch this. This would sometimes here, he may be thinking of the problems. Oh, these problems. This is a background I'm talking about. There are two ways of seeing this poem. One as a scenic beauty, the natures he was enjoying, but background also you can think. So it's a woods represents, which is not close to, normally very close to, but far away from this. That is completely not civilized. So it is not civilized. Village means it's not completely civilized. And also I think I know his house. This house like, it is talking about God. So God may be knowing what I am doing. And maybe he may be far from here, not too much far, but still he may not see. This is how he is thinking. What decisions he is going to make. So as already I told, this woods may be representing problems of life, what we encounter in life, that what decisions he is going to make may not be seen, but may not be known to him. That's how is his thinking. And let us go with the second stanza. So there's one thing, you enjoy the beauty. So you can see that background. So how it looks very nice when you see that the woods are filled with snow. and you can feel some cold wind also. So it's a scenic beauty where you can enjoy. So next, second stanza, he talks about again the nature beauty. My little horse must think it queer to stop without farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. My little horse is saying he is traveling like riding with horse. In olden days, the horse is the normally used by the people to move from one place to another place. Little horse, by he's saying little means with affection he is calling little horse, and is just imagining. It may be thinking, that is, his horse may be thinking, it's strange to stop without farmhouse near. So there is nothing here nearby. Why he stopped here? And only we have between the woods. There is only woods and frozen lake. There is a nearby lake. It's also frozen because winter season. It's a frozen lake, and also it is the darkest evening of the year. That is, we have a long evening. So darkest evening, maybe 21st December normally. It's a longest evening. It's a darkest. We have a normally darkest evening. He's talking about longest. It's a dark evening of the year. And this is just an imagination. That is because he's traveling. He may be just is because he's traveling with horse. Just he himself imagined. It may not be true. Maybe sometimes the animals, pet animals, sometimes animals also react to the situations. Just it's imagination. So why he stopped only? There is nothing. Only we have a woods and also we have a frozen lake. And also it's the darkest evening of the year. And why you want to stop? Something like that. To confirm this, so he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is something mystic. So harness bells means normally the horse will have a bell surround his neck. So it is shaking to ask his master, that is the poet, if there is some mistake. Is there any mistake? Why you are stopping here? Is there any mistake? Something like that. That sound it is making is it is to confirm what is happening here. Just an imagination. So this bell, the sound, maybe that is what the poet heard that moment. And also other sounds is also there. That is the only other sounds, the sweep of the easy wind. There's a wind because it's a winter season and also it's a evening. There is the sweep of easy wind. There's some sound. The wind sound is also, he was listening. That's also wind sound is also present. And along with this, we have a downy flake. That is it's a winter season, the snow falling. So normally it is not heard, but there is so silent, nobody is there. That sound is also there. So there are three sounds: the harness bell, because of shaking of the horse, and the sound of wind, and also the downy flake, the snow, and falling of snow, you can call. And this is here, just it's a scenic situation, what he actually is feeling at that moment. Next, the woods are lovely, dark, and deep. So now again he came, there's now he is enjoying the beauty. That is, woods are lovely now. It looks very beautiful. Of course, you can see the background. It looks very pleasant view for us. Similarly, he felt enjoyed. Lovely, dark because of the evening, and deep. So too much of snow was there. It looks very beautiful. And also he thinks, I cannot spend my time here only. I have to leave now. I have to move on. Because but I have promises to keep. So there is a family and other responsibility you have. So there are promises means its responsibilities, its duty, which is has to fulfill in the future. That is, I cannot spend the whole night, maybe think like that. So you cannot stay here only for a longer time. So I have to move on. And that is why I have to go early. So what is there? Because normally we have responsibilities. We have to go home, we have families, and we have to look after them, and also we have other duties. And there's other things. This is how dark, how deep the problems are. Woods already I've told it's like something like problems. These problems, how deep, how difficult, or whatever it is, then we have a responsibility, we have a promises to keep. That is, we have our own responsibilities and have a duties. So don't waste with these problems only. We have to come out. We have to face. We have other duties to do this. I cannot stay with problems only. So these problems, as is traveling, sometimes it come across and we leave that one. And we have to move on. How? Why you have to move on? Because this is comparatively, you're saying two things. So I can't stay here. There's no house, there's nothing. So I have to move on. That's the one. What is from this nature you're seeing, because it has to reach home. And another is this problem is the reason I have to stay here. That's a problem. Don't stay with problems only. We have to move on. Then we come across with solution. And we have other duties to do as well. That's why if I had a suicidal intention, and here it's just changing. He wants the responsibilities by thinking, anticipating the future of the family or his duties. So he started change. If it was like that also, you can think between life and death. But I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. That's what. So before definitely is here I sleep means it's talking about death. Before I die, I have to do so many things. I have to fulfill my promises and I have to do all my duties, my responsibilities. And then I have to die. So because of these problems, how difficult, how intensive they are, we should not worry about. We should lead a life because we have other duties as well, other responsibilities also. That's how you can see the poem. When he's traveling, he saw the woods. That's simple things. And you want to enjoy he stays some time and then he enjoy the beauty also. And then because how beautiful it is, whatever it is, we can't stay there itself. We have to move on as a traveler. Exactly similar he is talking about the problems in life. If there is a problem, you cannot stay with the problems only. We have to go ahead. So that is this poem. I think you enjoyed this poem. Really, I felt it's you know, very nice poem to you think understood this poem. It's very nice. So beautiful. Just the poet is traveling and he found the woods, not the forest, and he wanted to enjoy the beauty. That is indirectly saying when he was traveling in our life, the problem may occur anywhere, at any stage of life. And how deep, how difficult the problem is. We cannot stay with problems only. That's what, even though it's a beautiful, it is the scene, but he cannot stay there. He has to move on. There are certain things, in life as well. Everything is not permanent, so it's going to change with the time. So that's why we say the time is a good healer. Here also, that's why. And he made, suddenly he changed his mind. That is, I have promises to keep on. That is, I have to look after somebody. I have to take care of something. I have my duties before I die. So that's how it's a very nice poem. I think you will enjoy. Thank you.